Well, that was fun. My foot, like, okay, this is not showing up right. Hello. Computer. There we go. So, my laptop, if the cord comes out, the power turns off because it doesn't hold a charge anymore. And even though I have it electrical taped in, I still, like, my foot lightly pulled down on the cord and it came unplugged. And it ended the stream. So, anyway, I put the new wire in this mask. I was actually able to, I only had to unpick it to, like, I unpicked it before the stream ended to just where I had sewn through the previous one. Then I started unpicking it a little further and then decided to try and see if I could just slide this one in there, and it worked, so I did that. So I only had to re-sew half the seam instead of the whole seam. So that was a success. I also made myself some coffee. I'm having regrets for which coffee I purchased last time I went grocery shopping. Normally I buy groceries at Target, but I've been going to Walmart recently because I've been broke and it's cheaper, and I don't like shopping at Walmart, but there is no ethical consumption under capitalism, so you do what you gotta do. But honestly, I'm not too enthused with Target after some of the crap they've pulled during protests, so. But normally I buy just like the generic coffee from Target, and this time I bought Folgers because I didn't see a generic at Walmart, and it's just, usually I buy Target brand French roast. This time I bought Folgers Black Silk, and it's not as good. I didn't see a French roast option, so I got what they had. Not pleasant. I mean, to be fair, it is still better than free office coffee, which is always disgusting. Just not my preference. It's also better than instant coffee. I bought that once, and that is a mistake I will never make again because that stuff's full. Oh. While my computer was coming back up, I also just, checked Twitter for a little bit. Oh. Turns out that Hy-Vee, a local grocery store, has been doing some stupid things with spoiled merchandise. They released, the news articles about it are saying they spilled, but it wasn't a spill. A spill is accidental. This was a deliberate dump. They released 800 gallons of spoiled milk into local waterways. It killed fish. We only know about it because the DNR got involved because fish were dying. There have also been reports of people have also said that they saw Hy-Vee pouring spoiled orange juice into storm drains. Lord knows what that's gonna do. Like, there's appropriate ways to handle spoiled foods in large quantities. I don't know what it is because I don't have a job involving that. But, like, there's someone you call about that. And if you're a business, you should know that there's someone you call about that. And you should have their information so that you can call them. Whoop! Oh. I meant to backstitch, but I didn't hit the backstitch thing. Good job, me. Needs a little trim. Oh, fun. It didn't like that. Let's try again. Backstitch that a couple times and hope that's good. Looks like a mess. Who cares? Also, another thing that's very much on local Twitter is that the Des Moines mayor has not been doing a single thing to help people who were impacted by the storm. Meanwhile, like, the local Black Lives Matter group is doing a ton. the YMCA downtown is letting people come in to shower and like charge their phones, because a lot of town still doesn't have power. From what I was seeing, the south side is still without power. I haven't heard anything about the east side yet. Downtown and the west side, not West Des Moines, the west side of Des Moines, which is next to West Des Moines. Yeah, it's confusing because of West Des Moines. But yeah, the west side of Des Moines and downtown both have power, because those are areas that either rich people live or rich people care about, because they go there a lot. I'm on a main street, and I'm near a gas station that is like a major gas station, a major money maker. So like the gas station got turned on, and I just happened to be on the same grid. If it weren't for that, I still wouldn't have power. So I'm lucky. Yeah, this place is corrupt. I mean, where isn't? Let's be honest. I saw someone make the joke or observation, however you want to call it, that all the mayor really does is say next speaker at city council meetings. Which is, you know, not great. It's accurate. Of course, our city council members are also shit. And when, okay, I don't know when my shirt became a button. I dropped when CCI was working on the racial profiling ordinance, one of the things that some CCI leaders had said, which is unfortunately true, is that in order to get city council to do anything about the racist cops, the first step is to get them to acknowledge that the cops here are racist and that that is a problem. Because a lot of them either don't think that what's being done is racism because they are themselves racist, because they buy into that whole, oh, black people are criminals thing. And it's like, there's so many reasons why crime statistics are the way that they are. And a big chunk of that is racist policies that have kept people in poverty and desperation. There's also the fact that more black people are caught and charged for crimes compared to white people, for example, just by nature of law enforcement thinking they look suspicious just because they exist. My friend's stepdad one time, he has worse ADD than I do, and his is so bad he doesn't sleep much. He'll go 2-3 days without sleeping because he just can't. And so one time it was summer, and it was like 9 p.m. or so. So he couldn't sleep, but my friend's mom was like needed to go to bed. So, and he just like had energy and needed to do something. So he went out in the front yard and was pulling weeds, and a cop rolled up and asked him, "Are you where you're supposed to be?" Pulling weeds in his own front yard. And yet there are people who will argue that that is somehow suspicious behavior. All right, we are on elastics. I use a crochet hook to put them in because it just makes it easier. And because I have like 40 million crochet hooks. I recently got ergonomic crochet hooks and life changer. For some reason, I used to not think they were necessary for anyone, and it was just like a silly thing. But yeah, they're excellent. This does not want to. Ugh. Sometimes the little bit that's folded over at the top just like blocks the hook and doesn't want to let it through. Yeah, I used to think ergonomic crochet hooks were like a gimmick almost. But that was before I had really bad carpal tunnel, and now I'm like, my hand doesn't hurt that bad after crocheting now. Mask. I always feel like I have to try it on after I finish it. I don't know why. It's done. just the rest of the stack to go. Now it's got a cute little shape like my nose. And some makeup on it. I have several masks that have lipstick stains on the inside. Because, like, I've also just got full face of makeup stains on one. Sometimes you just feel like putting on a full face of makeup, and then you go somewhere where you have to wear a mask, and so you're just like, whatever. Sometimes the hook just doesn't stay hooked into the elastic the whole way through. And that's annoying. A lot of the time looking at my masks, it doesn't look like this amount of elastic is enough, but I have a tiny head. Also, this mask comes up pretty far on the side, so it doesn't need to go that far. And yeah, this is real comfortable. Aside from not liking where my glasses are sitting on my nose. It's a small evil. My uncle had me make him some, and he was worried about them being big enough to fit his face because he's a big guy. And he kept worrying about, like, if I should make it with extra fabric, because he kept saying, well, my face is fatter than yours, so I need more fabric to it. I'm like, I mean, like, these come almost to my ear. And honestly, you don't need, like, you don't necessarily need back here covered. And so he was thinking that, like, it would take more fabric to make masks for him, and so it would have to cost more. And I'm like, I don't need more fabric, I just need to cut the elastic longer, and it'll be fine. And, like, a couple more inches of elastic is not enough to really charge more. Or at least, like, not for family anyway. Like, if I was making them on, like, a large scale and actually had to worry about profit margin, maybe. But, like, also, like, considering that I didn't pay for the fabric, it doesn't really bother me to just use a little more elastic. Because, like, this huge roll is $15. Get back here. Thank goodness for monkey feet. If I can pick something up with my toes instead of my hand, I will. Even as a kid, when I was like small and flexible, I would still just pick stuff up with my feet instead of bending over to pick it up with my hands because I can. And my feet are a little more monkeyish. Like, they're more, I have like a normal length toe, but they're really mobile and good at gripping things and grabbing things. I actually have been able to, like, when I was in high school and I had a boom box, I could fully control it with my feet. I would change the radio station, change the volume, like press play on the tape or the CD, pause, fast forward, rewind, all of that with my feet. The only thing I couldn't do with my foot was, I don't think I ever actually tried flipping a tape. I think, that's like pulling the tape out and then flipping it would have been maybe a little too much. I could have done it if I used both feet. Honestly, it's just like, I could have done it with both feet. Of course, you can't change a CD with your foot because that's just requires too much dexterity that I don't have in my toes. And honestly, that's something I but I pin on my dad's side of the family. My dad's family are missing links, I swear. My dad, even before, like, there was that announcement or finding or whatever, like 2014 or 2015, I think it was announced that scientists had discovered that most humans of non-African descent have Neanderthal ancestors. Because they didn't 100% disappear, they interbred with other humanoid species, or with other human species, not humanoid. My dad had already figured that out decades before, because he just has that Neanderthal build. He just looks like a caveman. He also has the Neanderthal face, which is big forehead, no chin. If you ever see someone who has very little chin, that is a Neanderthal trait being presented in their DNA. There's also a particular nose shape that is Neanderthal. It's usually also present on the people who have the big forehead, little chin. Not always. A few years ago, I got really into, like, the thing I did for fun was watch human evolution documentaries on YouTube. Because I'm a nerd, and that is one of the things I nerd about. And so I would just, like, go around studying people's facial structure and determining if they presented Neanderthal traits or not. Because, I don't know, because it's not that I don't know, it's because it's fascinating to me. It's very interesting. Yeah, my dad figured that out way before, because he went to a museum where they had an exhibit and it had, like, a model of what a Neanderthal man would have looked like, and he was like, "That's me." Well, damn. Guess we didn't die out. And he's like, all the men in my dad's family wear a beard or a goatee to hide the fact that they don't have the chin. They have